Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story, it is a response to this other confession about our brother who was saying that he is in Botswana and he picked up a bag of money, and after he had picked up a bag of money, he saw that there was money that was inside, and the money, whenever you spend the money, you will always find that the money that you would have spent, it is back in that bag. So there is one of our brother who also had that confession, and this is the response that he sent to me, and the message, it reads like this. Hello brother, how are you? Can you please post my story as hidden identity? I am a Zimbabwean man that has been staying here in Botswana for a long time now, and I want to discuss a couple of things with you. That man that I had you reading out his confession, he should not take us for fools. We are not kids here. If you want people to assist him, he should come out clean so that we can know what kind of help he wants, than for him to come here to pretend as if he does not know what he did. I can tell you the name of this Sangoma that is from Botswana that assisted that man, so he should stop pretending, because we know that once you do rituals with that traditional healer, the rituals to make you rich, there are certain things that you have to follow for the rest of your life, and if you do not follow those rules, then you will start to suffer like the way that he is suffering, because I also did the same rituals that he did. I also have the very same bag that he said that he found this bag, and he thought that the bag that he had picked up, it was a bag that had been forgotten by a woman, and it had some diapers that were in them. It is just rubbish that he's saying. That is the bag that the traditional healer gives to you with everything that belongs to a newborn baby. That is the same bag that I was also given, and inside you will always find money that will be in there until you say that you do not want the money anymore, and then there are rituals that you are supposed to follow. We know these things, and that is the way that people do money-making rituals here in Botswana. Let me tell you how I ended up being in Botswana. When I saw that the poverty was just too much for me in Zim, I then decided to come to Botswana. But the first time around, I was so unlucky. When we crossed over into Botswana, unfortunately, we got arrested and we were deported. I did not want to return back home, so I stayed in Plumtree. I started working in this other village. I was herding cattle, and the money that I was making, it was not a lot. That was when I thought of crossing over again into Botswana. This was after I had met this other Ndebele speaking man that was also headed to Botswana, and the people that I was working for, they gave me my money. It was not a lot. So then we crossed back into Botswana. Since he knew how to move around Botswana without you getting arrested, we finally arrived at the place where we found a job. He had worked there before. We started working there. He told me that his dream was to make a lot of money, and then he wanted to buy a small truck so that he can go to South Africa and he can start to work as a Malaicha than to work for a company. He will just be taking things from people that would have worked, and when they want to send them to Zim, they would give them the things, and then he would go with them to Zim. That was what he wanted. So as we were working, one day he just said, I am rich now. And I said, old man, what are you talking about? How can you say that you are rich yet we are suffering like this? He then said, there is something that I want to show you. He then took me into the room where we were staying, and then he opened up the bag, the very same bag that that man was saying that he picked up, to show you that it is a lie. It was that same bag that women that have small kids carry when they go to the clinic. That is the same bag that the old man showed me, and he said, check inside. And I saw that there was money. The money was not a lot, but he told me that this money, you can spend it, you can buy whatever that you want with that money. And it will still return back to you. And we started spending that money. We moved out of the place where we were staying, and we started staying in a very nice place, and we were just enjoying our money. So later on, he then took me to the very same Sangoma that assisted me with the rituals. When we got there, the Sangoma then told me the things that I was supposed to do, the type of women that I have to sleep with, whether they are from Zim or they are local women from Botswana. And each and every time when I sleep with a woman, there is something that's always happened in the spiritual realm. So I have been doing these rituals consistently without doing other things that can mess up my rituals, like what that guy did. He messed up his own rituals, and here now he's pretending as if he just picked up that bag from a taxi rank by mistake, stole the money and returned back the bag, and now the bag follows him wherever he goes to. It is a lie. He was helped by this name hidden traditional healer here in Botswana. That is the way that he assists people that want to do money rituals. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our DM brother who is saying that he's in Botswana. All that he does is enjoy money, sleep with women, use them for rituals, and the money that is in the bag, he says that it is not a lot, but you can buy whatever that you want with that money. Let us try to speak with him in the comment section. Then there is another message that was sent to me by our dear sister. The message reads like this: "Hello brother, how are you? Can you please post my story as hidden identity? I am a Zimbabwean woman who is married now. My story happened when I was only 21 years. After college, when I got my diploma, that was when I applied for work at our church, and I started working at the head office of our church. So there was one day when I wanted to go and grab something at the pastor's office that I wanted to use. Then when I was walking towards the pastor's office, that was when I started to smell something funny, like someone was burning traditional herbs. So I started walking very slowly, and then I had a conversation that I overheard. This was a conversation between the pastor and one of the overseer who had a very big position in our church. And the conversation, it can even destroy the whole church if I can reveal it to the world, but I am really scared to do that because I still go to the same church, but it is a different branch that I go to. So the pastor and the overseer, they were talking about the head of this person that had been killed, and the head of that person had been buried in the foundation of the church. Everything had been moving very well, but now what was happening was that at night this head will start to dig a hole and it will get out of the foundation, and they were afraid that one day someone will discover the head. So they wanted to contact a traditional healer that would come and to cleanse the church, and they were also burning the herbs so that the head won't have the power to get out of the foundation at night. So when I overheard this conversation, I was so scared. I rushed back to my office. I sat there. I did not know what else to do because I was really scared of what I had overheard the overseer and the pastor talking about. Later on, then I tendered my resignation and I said that I did not want to work for the church anymore. I wanted to work in the private sector. That is what I told to the HR in church, and the pastor begged me to stay, but I was even afraid of the pastor. Then I stopped going to that church, but I did not stop going to church altogether. I mean, like the branch where I was attending to, and then I started going to another church. This is what I did until I got married. So this is the secret that I have been keeping in my heart ever since I was 21. Now I am married and I have a family. I don't know why I have chosen you to tell you this confession, because you are the first one that I am sharing with the things that I had the pastor having a conversation with the overseer. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world that I want to share with you. And the message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my story as hidden identity? I am a man and I am a married man, and what has brought me here is some of the letters that I found in my grandmother's trunk. I have shared these letters with my wife, and my wife has been saying that we have to burn these letters, otherwise they are going to destroy the whole family, because my wife is saying that this means that your father's relatives, whom you thought were your father's relatives, they can take you to court because they will say that you benefited where you were not supposed to benefit, because the person whom we thought was our grandfather is not our grandfather at all. So my wife is saying that as a family, you are going to lose all the farms, the whole estate that was left behind by our grandfather, whom we thought was our grandfather. So these letters, they reveal a lot of secrets about our grandmother, whom we thought was so perfect. My grandmother, I'll say that she was a headmistress at this other secondary school. This was found in Highfields. So I've just changed the location of that school so that people won't suspect that it is I that has given you this confession. After our grandmother had passed away, that was when I got some of her possession, including her books, because she used to read a lot of books. So I also loved reading books. So then I got the trunk that had all of the letters that were hidden in them, including the books. So as I was going through, then I saw that there was a hidden compartment in that trunk that was full of books. I opened up that compartment and I saw that there were too many letters that were there. It was really interesting. So then I gave myself some time to study and to read all of the letters that she had received and had been sending out. Then what I discovered was that these letters, they were love letters, not to our grandfather, but these were love letters to a Kenyan man who must be our grandfather. He was a professor at this other university, but he has since passed away, according to what is written in those love letters. So the first letter that I read, it was written to this other magazine. It was an old South African magazine, and a lot of people would send their letters to that magazine, and they wanted to be connected to pen pals, like what they used to do back in those days. If you were searching for love, you would write to a magazine and to a newspaper, then they will publish your name and your address so that you can get in contact with your pen pal or maybe your future soulmate. So my grandmother then received a love letter from this other Kenyan man who is also married as well, and then they started to talk until they did some arrangements, and then that man came from Kenya. He came to Zim and they met at this other hotel where they slept with each other according to the letters, and then the man returned back to his country. Then my grandmother wrote back to him, and my grandmother told that Kenyan man that she was pregnant, and she was pregnant with her first child, and all the children that she had, according to the letters, all of these children, she had them with that Kenyan man, which means that we are half Kenyan. And my grandmother, when she gave names to her sons and daughters that she had, including my own father, she would ask that Kenyan man about the name that she was supposed to give to the child that she will be carrying when she was about to give birth. And all of our fathers' names and our aunties' names, they do have a Kenyan translation. It is Swahili. That is the translation that they have, but in English. They just used English so that my grandfather, whom we thought was our grandfather, will never suspect. And all of those names, they were given to our fathers by their father, who was from Kenya. So all of these letters, they do have an address. After my grandfather, the Kenyan man, had passed away, my grandmother spoke again with his relatives, and then they told my grandmother that what she was supposed to do was that she was supposed to bring all of her children to Kenya so that they can meet their relatives. But my grandmother refused to do so, and she cancelled all communication that she had with them. And then she started to cheat on our grandfather again, and she started to cheat with this other man who was a white man that was from Germany, but they never saw each other physically. But the things that they used to write in their letters that they used to send to each other, they are very pornographic, and they are very even embarrassing for you to read, to think that your grandmother was a woman like that. The things that she used to describe, the things that she wanted that German man to do to him, it was really embarrassing for me and my wife to read about this. So after our grandfather, our Zimbabwean grandfather, had passed away, since my grandmother had so many sons, that was when our grandfather's relatives then said that they did not want any big portion from his big estate, because they wanted his wealth to be divided amongst his children. And our grandfather, he was filthy rich. So growing up, we never knew poverty. And my wife had said that once you let people know that this is what happened and the proof is there, then they can go to court and they can take away all the wealth that once belonged to your grandfather. So you need to keep this hidden, because my wife, she is afraid of poverty, because she does not know poverty ever since she got married to me. So I've been thinking about going to Kenya in secret so that I can get to meet the relatives and I can see if indeed they are our blood relatives. Can you advise me to do such a thing? Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Let us try to speak with our dear brother in the comment section. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. His grandmother was very busy writing to different magazines, dating men, and having kids with a man that is not your husband, all of those kids. So our brother is asking, you were saying, if I tell the other relatives, can they take us to court? Will they win the case? To those that know a lot about the law, what the law says, you can also assist him in the comment section. And another thing about the brother, that one that was being blackmailed, he was saying that this South African woman knows a secret about the papers that he is using in South Africa. So there is nothing else that he can do but to just give the woman the money that she wants. So that is another thing that he wanted you to know. She knows a lot of secrets about him. So she is using that advantage. Then there is another message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. She is saying, hello brother, how are you? I am madly in love with this Nigerian man. I don't know if he faced childhood trauma. I don't think that he's a ritualist, but he's violent. The way that he's violent, sometimes it even scares me. Whenever I go out, I return back home on foot or using Uber. Back in the days, I used to walk from the club to return back to the apartment where we were staying. Now it is easy, and when he leaves me at a club, then I can just do an Uber and return back home. This has happened. I've been with this Nigerian man for the past 9 years that we have been together. We have one child. He is very violent. He does not beat you. The only thing that he can do is scream at you, beat the walls, punch the walls, or break his phone or your phone. And when we go out clubbing, if any guy just smile at me, that night I'll never find peace. The way that he's abusive, I don't know, but I love him. Whenever he becomes abusive, the next morning he will wake me up, buy me a nice present, and apologize for whatever that he would have done to me. And he always wonder why I do not want to get married to him. We are just staying as boyfriend and girlfriend, even though we have a child together. And I hope that this will answer the question that he always asks me, why you do not want to get married to me, even though I have money. But the violence, it is just too much. It is a never-ending cycle. Like my relationship, there is always a big high, and then the low. It will be so deep, so much that I can go for days feeling depressed. And what he does is that when he becomes violent, he can say, how about you go and you cry in that Mercedes-Benz there. Like now, he recently bought a Raptor for me. So if he becomes violent, he says, it is far much better for you to cry. You can mess up your car. How many women are driving a Ford Raptor? Go and cry in your car. You can even throw out money at me. Usually it can be 10, 20K, even up to 30K. And they say, go and cry, babe. And when you are crying, wipe your tears using this money. He's someone that has a lot of businesses in his country. He does export of oil, so he has so much money. But I am tired of being inside this emotional roller coaster. One moment he's sad, one moment he's accusing me of being a cheat, one moment he's saying that I'm just a prostitute who is after his money, and if we get married, then it means that his wealth is going to be mine. The next thing is that I'm going to look for a hitman to kill him. These are some of the things that he can tell you after making love to you. Then you can just say, but I can't trust you, you know, with the money that I have, I can't trust you. How about we get married? Then you just get me killed. Then you get all of my money. So the things that he says to me, it is just affecting me emotionally and physically. He once had a wife who died. The woman, she was also from Nigeria. The woman was just found dead in her sleep. And I suspect that maybe she just had enough with all of this stress, because I am always under a lot of stress. And now, early in the morning, when I wake up, I can't even hold anything because I'll be shaking so much. I think it is because of the stress. It has affected me, and I don't know how to recover. Therapy is not working. I can go for therapy, and then they can tell me the techniques that I have to use. I try to avoid him because being around him, it's so confusing. You don't know, is he angry? Is he smiling? Is he smiling because he wants to be with you? If you touch him, then you say, what else can you do? You are married to a man that has money. Of course, you have to give me sex. So it makes me to feel somehow the abuse that I am going through. It's just that I need him. We have a child together, and I'm also a breadwinner in the family. But my intentions with him were good. But now I have reached a point whereby I can't go on physically. My body is like shutting down. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Let us try to speak with our sister in the comment section. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. She was saying that a relationship to the Nigerian man is like a roller coaster. She can't do anything right. He's always shouting, always angry. They can go out, and then if any man looks at her, and then the man will say, oh, because I made you to look this beautiful, now men are after you. Then he can just go out and he can drive back home. So she has to make a plan, and she was saying that she is not allowed to drive to any club. If he finds out that she is driven to a club on her own, he goes there. He can even pick up the car on his own and return back home. There was even one time she was saying that he called a towing company after she had refused to give him the keys and she had to walk back home. Strange things they do happen in this world.